To Google Hub tutorial. So today we're talking about introduction to JavaScript. What is JavaScript talking about? JavaScript is the world's most popular programming language. JavaScript is the programming language of the web. JavaScript is easy to learn. This tutorial will teach you JavaScript from basic to advanced. Let's go in. Let's test our first JavaScript code. So when you click on this guy, you see that your date and time is displayed. One thing about JavaScript is that JavaScript sees elements as items that events can happen to, items that can perform events, or items that events can happen to. So here we have a button. This button is what you are having here. When you click on this button, you see that something is displayed, date and time is displayed. All right. Now, JavaScript cannot work in isolation. JavaScript works together with what we call events. Okay? JavaScript listens to events. When an event occurs, JavaScript performs an action. When an event occurs, JavaScript does what? Performs an action. So, in this case, JavaScript is using the onClick event. This onClick event is written as an attribute, as an onClick attribute. Okay? This onClick attribute, its value is JavaScript code. And in this JavaScript code, we are simply saying, let the document, which is your file, get the element by an ID demo. Turn its inner HTML to display the date function or the date method. Which element here has an ID of demo? It is the paragraph element, it's empty. So even if we have an item in this paragraph element, let's say, welcome to Goglow Hub JavaScript tutorial, and I run. So what I'm going to be having in this element is welcome to Goglow Hub JavaScript tutorial. If I click on this button, it will change this inner HTML. Before, the inner HTML was empty, so it will just display the date method. But now we have a content in our inner HTML. When we click on this button, it will still replace that inner HTML with the date method. So when we click on this, you see that it replaces it. All right, let's move forward. Let's go to introduction. JavaScript can change HTML content. These are things that JavaScript can do. It can change, just like we tried. You can change the HTML content to something else. Okay, let's try this. So you see, when I click on this, it will change the content. This is the content. This is the element with ID of demo. When you click on this button, it will listen to an onClick event. When you click, it will execute this JavaScript code. It will get the element by ID demo and change, assign a new value to its inner HTML. It assigns a new value, hello JavaScript, to its inner HTML. That's why we have this. That's why we have this. All right. What's the next thing JavaScript can do? JavaScript allows both double and single quotes. So when you have double quotes here, double quotes here, double quotes enclosing these guys, you can also have single quotes. JavaScript allows both double and single quotes. All right, JavaScript can change the HTML attribute values. Wow, JavaScript can change HTML attribute values. Let's go in and see that. I can click on turn on the light, and the light will get turned on. I can click on turn off the light, and the light will get turned off. I can click on turn off the light again, it gets turned on. Click on turn off the light again. Let's dive in and see what is happening. Okay, so here we have one image element. This image element officially and by default has a source value that is telling us which picture is in that image element when this page loads. So when this page loads, the picture that is here is the bulb off. The bulb off image is what is here by default. Now we have two buttons, the first button and the second button. The first button has a content turn on the light, okay, which is showing here turn on the light. Second button has this also turn off the light. All right, now we have an onClick event, which is put as an onClick attribute that executes. This onClick event executes a JavaScript code when we click on any of these buttons. So if I click on this button here, it will change it will get the element by ID, my image. This is the element by ID, my image. It will get this element and get the source and assign a new value to the source. So if I want to turn the bulb on, if I click on bulb on, it will assign the value with bulb on. And if I turn the bulb off, if I click on bulb off, it will assign a new value to my source attribute. This is the source attribute, and here we assign a new value to our source attribute. This is why we have this. You can turn on the lights. These are two separate values, source values, which means they are two separate images. All right, let's continue. JavaScript can change HTML styles. You can change the style of a HTML. Let's try it. So here we can change the font size to 35px. So all you need to do is click on the button, listen to an onClick event, execute the JavaScript code based on the onClick event. You are getting the ID element with ID of demo, and we are changing the style. We are assigning the font size of the style a new value, which is 35px, and it makes it bigger. Okay, JavaScript can hide elements by using the display property. When you assign a new value to your display property, you assign the display property a value of none, you discover that that element will cease to show. All right. JavaScript can also show elements. An element that is hidden can be shown using JavaScript. So by default, this element with ID of demo has a display of none. It is hidden by default. Okay. However, with JavaScript, you can reassign a new value to the display property. We can give it a display value of block, and then it will show. Hello JavaScript will then show. All right, let's keep moving. Remember, this is our introduction. Did you know JavaScript and Java are completely different languages, both in concept and design? JavaScript was invented by Brendan Each in 1995 and became an ECMA standard in 1997. ECMA 262 is the official name of the standard. ECMAScript is the official name of the language. All right, where to? Let's talk about where to. Where to. How do we use JavaScript in the web? How do we use JavaScript on the web? How do we use JavaScript on the web? JavaScript can be used on the web using the script element. You can place this script element either in the head section or just before the closing body tag. You can place this script element in the head section or just before the body closing tag. Your script element can hold JavaScript codes and execute JavaScript codes. All right. We said all JavaScript examples may use a type attribute type of text / script. The type attribute is not required. JavaScript is the default scripting language in HTML. Let's talk about JavaScript functions and events. What are we going to see in this tutorial? JavaScript function is a block of code that can be executed when called for. You have a code waiting for you. Okay, so there's a code giving out sweets. A code is giving out sweets or candy to our subscribers. However, that code is not executing at the moment. It will only be triggered by an event. Okay, so when an event occurs, that block of code will execute. Maybe in that block of code, you decide that it will give out a bunch of banana and it will peel the banana for you, which is the second step. It will, first of all, first step is to give out the banana. Second step is to peel the banana. Third step it is going to slice the banana. And fifth step is going to feed you the banana. All these executions, all these commands are kept as a function. They are kept as a block of code waiting for execution. When an event occurs, it can trigger, JavaScript can trigger that function to now execute. I discovered that the subscriber will get a banana peeled, sliced, and fed to him or her. That is what functions are used for. A function can be called when an event occurs, like when the user clicks a button. We'll learn more about functions in the subsequent tutorials. JavaScript can be written in the head section, just like I said, or in the just before the body close. So in the head section, you can have your JavaScript element written with the JavaScript code. Here we have a function, declaration, this is a function, and this is a code waiting for execution. All right. JavaScript can also be written in the body just before the closing tag of the body element. All right. We also have external JavaScript. External JavaScript is written with a script element and takes us to an external file sheet. Okay. This is the script element with the source attribute. The value of the source attribute is an external style sheet. All right. External JavaScript advantages. It separates HTML and code. It makes HTML and JavaScript easier to read and maintain. Cached JavaScript files can speed up page loads. To add JavaScript files to one page, use several script tags. So you can use multiple script tags to attach. This is a JavaScript file, and that JavaScript file that can still execute in our file in our HTML page. External JavaScript can also come in an absolute URL form, so you can still place an absolute URL coming from a different server. All right. So we'll be ending this tutorial here, and in our next tutorial, we'll be talking about JavaScript outputs. Please don't forget to subscribe to Google Hub channel, and see you guys in our next tutorial. Thank you.